Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a game that I don't have a bet on. I don't think any of us have actual bets on, but this is a game I am very, very interested in watching. Brad, if we take a look at this Cincinnati Bengals team and you really start to break things down, there are a lot of things that point towards that maybe this isn't smoke and mirrors with this team so far, that maybe they started to figure some things out just a little bit with this team. I mean, we are talking, and yes, it is only a 4-week sample, but we are talking we're sitting here talking about a defense here that is 5th rated in the league in DVOA. Pro Football Focus has them at 6th. So we have agreements from these advanced analytics sites. They are pass defense that is a top 10-ish, 11 DVOA 7, according to Pro Football Focus. If you look at the rush defense, both top 7 units so far. They're inside the top 5 in yards per play allowed, yards per pass allowed, early down success rate. They're in the top 3. I mean, there are a lot of things here that says maybe this Cincinnati team, which they did go out and invest a lot of money in free agency. They've invested a lot of draft capital as well to make sure that they can shore up that side of the ball, is actually for real. And then look, it looks like Joe Burrow's just kind of picked up where he left off last year before that catastrophic injury. And he is one of the better graded quarterbacks in all of the NFL. Number 6 overall through 4 weeks. Do you believe in the Cincinnati Bengals catching 3 points at home against the Packers?
I believe in the offense. I do not believe in the defense. It's better than it was last year, but they've had a very, very easy schedule to date, like top 5 easiest in the league. So I can see Aaron Rodgers having his way here. But the Bengals offense, I think, is very much for real. The pass blocking is just much better than it was last year. They're top 14 by pass block win rate, which is just a massive step up. And Joey Burrow, I think, he's getting back to sort of full health, full trust in that knee. I think he was talking before that Thursday night game that, he felt a bit like his old self. And then obviously they were forced to air it out in that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came out here and again just started passing a lot more than they have so far this season. If you remember last year, they were sort of 65-70% pass rate in neutral situations, and that they've gone the opposite direction so far, probably to protect that knee. But I expect them to start airing it out here. And they do get T. Higgins back, or should get T. Higgins back. Now, this Packers defense is a mess. So they could be without, or they will be without Zadarius Smith. They will be without Jair Alexander. They could be without Preston Smith as well. They're signing Jalen Smith off the street to play linebacker, who, is just dumped by the Cowboys because he can't play linebacker. So we've spoken about the defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, like last week, the week before. He's not very good either. There's just no talent on this defense whatsoever. So I'm looking at this Bengals team total at 23.5 minus 120 at the minute, and I think that's 3 points short, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely like that look. I mean, listen, Joe Mixon likely to miss this game, but as you mentioned, where their bread is buttered. Yeah, I was going to say their bread is buttered through the air anyway, right? And so if they don't have Joe Mixon to rely on, then they have to be just a little bit more pass heavy as it is anyway. And then that's good for a team total like you're talking about as well. T. Higgins does look like he's going to get back out there in all of this. And so Joe Burrow should have his full slate of weapons there. Steven, it's hard for me to disagree really with the line. I think the Bengals probably about a field goal underdog here in this one. 51 is the total, about right in this one too. I wasn't even really thinking about the team total, but I definitely like Brad's look.
I agree. The one thing that stood out to me the most about this matchup is that both of these defenses are outside the top 20 in pressure rate and pass rush win rate. And they're facing very good quarterbacks, if not an elite quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So the best angles to me in this game, I don't have a bet, but if I were, the angles I would take would be the over or one of the two team total overs in this game. I think those add up quite nicely with a lack of pressure and a ton of weapons and a great quarterback for both offenses.
And just a side note, just an aside here, like we we have gotten spoiled because we got Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow last year, and then we fast forward to this year and they just picked right up where they left off from last year. And I think that we get a little bit skewed sometimes. You know, we're prisoner of the moment sometimes. We don't really look back as far as we should. These rookie quarterbacks struggling this year in the NFL, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, rookie quarterbacks typically struggle, right? Like, they're typically just not good from the beginning. Like, this whole thing that we saw with Burrow and Herbert last year, and for them to be able to just continue that, you know, right into season 2 here for them, is just not something we see very often. And so I think that we maybe have a little bit of an inflated view of rookie quarterbacks because of what we saw with Burrow and Herbert last year. And that's a little preview of maybe something we will talk about later on here when we talk about another one of these other games.